Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lanegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though. You too have a history with Lanegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
We'll be going to Lanegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lanegis like?
Let's just say, I don't have They called it treatment.
You mean...
That's right. Day in and day... The look they gave me, some exist. I thought things couldn't get any worse. Is it any worse? Sure, I survived. And that's when it hit me.
I'm sorry. You say... That's exact... Why should... It's that long. This struggle was never about... If we're doing...
A world free of...
Not if we're going to win. Now...
A vic...
You...
Yeah. We...
Hey, Alphen, listen to this!
Hey!
What's got lost?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about Nape...
Hey! I never said I was... I just think it's, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through...
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do.
Well, maybe you're the one with...
Guys. I'm no...
Oh!
Hard to argue with that.
You okay?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a...
Glad to hear. That device there cut...
I was just wondering what it is.
It's a healing pod.
Oh, you don't say. Well, that should definitely come in handy if any of us get... Alphen?
No, I was just thinking back to when Naori late...
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that means...
Yes. It sounds crazy, I know.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it. Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left...
Of course. That's why...
Even in that time, I was well aware... I'll always remember. The world's big... If I've learned anything on... And the...
Well...
I know.
Is everyone about ready?
Before we do that, just what...
Kisara has a point. Now that...
I'd like to hear more too.
Very well. First and foremost, Lanegis... Of course, it also happens to be a city. Its social structure is based on a...
Enough to determine someone...
They can be honed with the right training, and there are... As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contender.
Those capable of only... Still.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order.
Come on, you've seen her skill with Astral.
On arts alone, you're right. No, it's fine.
Jeez.
Wait a second.
I am not...
Of course, separating people into... As if...
So this red woman...
I would wager so. Chances are she's...
If the Renis Alma is being used to
That red woman...
We're about to land.
If there are clues about your thorn... There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma...
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to...
Forbidden?
I don't know. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lanegis would have required...
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Whatever then the Renis Alma might be in the same... hiding something of that worth...
It stands to reason we should be looking...
Indeed.
But it's been over 300...
There's only one way.
Shion's right.
All right. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renans. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no?
Thinking about what could be lurk...
For such a loudmouth.
Oh!
Would you two children's...
So how many Renans...
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to...
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused...
When Lanegis changed shape, it must have...
Maybe when they sent the wedge down...
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live.
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter.
Dohalim?
Avakir.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be...
So you haven't heard what happened?
Heard what?
Someone you...
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim. Don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me.
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift with... We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening.
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone.
The Forbidden Zone?
Trust me. The less you know, the...
You're just the... I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home, let alone the Forbidden...
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find...
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine...
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine. I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you.
So who's far?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis...
They seem to be just as clueless.
We need more information.
While we're at it, we could...
And don't forget about finding...
Let's leave the talking to Shion.
Good idea.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis.
Right. The Danans among us should probably...
What could be so important? It's worth... It's just...
From how it looks.
But why do all this?
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process.
He's right. We need to stop this...
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some...
You heard him.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when...
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think...
Ordinarily, trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought.
Sorry.
This place...
Yeah.
Oh, dear me. What an Whatever did we do to...
You really have no clue.
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning. We have no... But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship? I believed...
Your eyes do not deceive you.
As your lordship wishes. First Lanegis mutates... The Ilkaris house has...
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basic...
Your lordship! Oh, what a... I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch I witnessed the deaths of so many.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed...
All red, eh? No, I can't say I...
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't...
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise.
Never mind. Forget I... Is everything okay?
Oh, yes.
I was hoping to head this way.
I suppose the Sovereign knows I daren't stay here too long, though. Although I was hoping to avoid it, but
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how?
Yes, strange.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here. I thought maybe it was a passageway between...
It's worth investing. I shall go and assess...
You'd really do that?
Our lot in...
Oh, why...
Well, we've canvassed the city for...
No one has the faintest idea.
You'd think that info...
Not to this extent.
Given everything that's happened to their city?
Yeah. That one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening.
Everything that nothing happens.
The Sovereign's plan... There is...
The Sovereign, of course.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? That's a pretty...
The points you make are, come to think of it, I know nothing of... Shion, have you ever been... No,
No.
neither have I. In which...
Hold up, what are you getting at?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lanegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld.
But what about trade and...
Not if the Sovereign is imposed...
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over. What if something were to happen?
Sovereign is all...
Whoever wins the crown contest, thereafter. As for how Volron factors into all this...
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lanegis. 3... That's not the only...
Do you think Volron was made sovereign?
I can't say for...
But that... We never did see Volron's body back in Ganeth. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the ceremony can't go forward without the Renaissance?
There's something else the ceremony needs.
Questions.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limit...
Then it's decided.
One of this... Let's go find... I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind.
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to...
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than... I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth.
More to the point, not a single citizen.
What if she's not here?
It's still too early.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got an...
And what skill would...
You know, when you're talking to people around town.
I'm afraid I don't...
I do. It's look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have...
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings...
So there is a knack to it!
Now you've got me curious.
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must.
If you've a bone to pick with me...
What? They...
Hey! What's got into Alpha?
I can barely understand a word they're saying.
I hope you're willing to...
I wasn't expecting...
With nobody left to run the show. I mean, there's some...
But Dohalim was a little...
Only current acting lords have power.
Even if the other lords were still around,
I wonder what they'd think. Balsif, Ganabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know...
Well, yeah, to us Danans, they were just...
I know.
It feels strange.
Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, every lord in their household has their share of support. And luckily for us, the people...
Yes! Yes!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lanegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them, too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us, Dan?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any load came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right, too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay.
It seems like the people on Lanegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganeth Harrows changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan...
Yeah.
They must have had a lot of...
Renans, but their loyalty to...
That's what makes them...
Right.
Guess that...
So,
Yeah. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances.
Yeah, but...
I know, but at the... So I guess...
You're sick, even if...
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a... I think...
She...
And
I'll take that.
There's something I just...
What is it?
The crown contest itself is... In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be...
Yeah, that...
So...
Han-freaked Milgras.
So then this Han-freaked what...
The last I heard, yes.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually...
I guess over Holocom, maybe. But
Now that you mention it, I don't recall it.
And that never...
A new... In other words, if that's...
true, but...
You and me both.
With any luck...
No use...
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't I was...
But why are you here? Wait, nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that...
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim! What the heck?
First, I have... vengeance you seek. I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let...
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a cow...
I apologize.
Is it true?
Each of us have our pasts.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a...
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not...
Did you mean what you said? About...
She has more right to my life.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she...
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best...
This might go well in that new recipe.
Can't wait to see what you make.
You're the one making it.
Wow, this place...
Yeah, it must be some...
You think? Man, these...
It is...
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we... Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan.
Tarnagan. He was...
He was once my dearest, closest friend. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous... Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority. It was a time of great joy.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society...
I suppose it's natural you would see...
I would have. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints, and besides, it was that way of looking at the world that...
Your praise does me too great an honor. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors, for Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her, but fate was not...
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood it, but he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of...
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does...
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved. And by her friend's hand, no less.
So instead you let her go on hating you. So she...
That's not the same as running away.
It is exactly the same. As for what happened after...
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be...
Shion's right. What other Lord would have treated me as you did? You've saved so... You saved me. So... Try not...
Frank is all but...
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisa.
It's important to have someone like...
I didn't realize how difficult it is.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be...
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they're likely... offer their assistance.
Damn it. Lanegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Oh! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menastia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one. I owe you one.
Take this!
I'm ready! In an instant! Impact Claw! Not a chance!
Illuminate the dark!
It's almost too strong!
Split it open!
Be my guest!
I'm ready!
Laser sight! No
Rising
Water!
Void Blast!
Send from the wind! Eternal devastation!
Fire support! Armor won't save you!
Those soldiers seem different from the city.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for...
They weren't in the least bit fazed by...
Indeed. They seem... And yet, traditionally, Lanegis hasn't been high on...
Their glazed-over eyes remind...
I've never seen...
Maybe someone does...
What with the...
Eternal devastation! Hurricane Thrust! Tear!
Mega Ray! Annihilation!
Not today!
Your reflexes will not serve you well here.
Here it goes!
Tear! Void Blast! Strike!
Not on my watch!
Void Blast!
Do it! Astral energy! Full throttle!
My turn! Rising Wyvern!
Break this night. Leave the ensnaring to me.
Do it! Yeah! Get toasty!
Burn Strike!
A
Not
whirling
shit!
struggle!
Rise up! Void
Winds of
Blast!
heaven! First
Strike!
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
out of our way!
Keep in! Attack time!
Hurricane Thrust!
Finish with
Void
that!
Blast!
This one's mine!
Dragon! Time to cross blades! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
In a bind? I'll leave it to you! Strike! Burn!
Lunar corruption! Lightning
Void Blast!
I'm a water duck!
Roaring Blast! You!
Mega Ray!
Eternal devastation!
Power of water!
Catapult! Dragon Form!
Tidal wave!
Far enough.
Blah blah blah! Magic! Air drop! A whirling struggle! Lunar corruption! Lunar blast! Spectrum spray!
Rising Wyvern! Strike! Void Blast! It's on!
Illuminate the dark! Transform! Holy
Void
trigger!
Blast!
Burning!
Strike!
Holy ready!
Mirage! Dragon Form!
Mega ray!
Eternal devastation! Strike! Void Blast!
Burning!
Take this! Take this!
Vacuum Blade!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil! Photon Tree Planter! War with action!
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno! Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
courteous, aren't you?
Engaging! You picked the wrong fight!
Armor won't save you!
You think that shield will save you?
Do it! Totally! In an instant! Impact block! Now!
Nothing gets my everlasting charge.
Negative gate!
Far enough!
Bloody rising over!
It's over! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny...
No choice!
Now you'll learn!
Rising Wyvern! Sword Flash! I won't show you any mercy! I owe you one! Sword Flash!
I'm ready! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action! Prepare! Not a chance! Too fast! Stand back! I'll slip it up! Sword Flash! Slay! I'm ready! Sword Flash! Light Burst Force!
Radiant Genesis! By the
No!
power of flame!
Hurricane Thrust! Tear!
Here goes!
Hurricane
In
Thrust!
between heaven and earth, a wailing blast of lightning!
Nicely done. Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
Little help!
Rising Wyvern! March on!
Lunar corruption!
Lion on! You're mine! Rising Wyvern! Ignite!
As if the normal creatures can't prevent you from something enough.
Void Flash!
That'll bring you down.
Barrier! Void Flash!
Nail strike!
You're on!
Illuminate the top!
Rising Wyvern!
Holy Land! Fled!
No further! Void Flash!
Pierce evil! A
Rising
wailing
Wyvern!
blaze!
Try harder! My turn!
Saving this one! Fall into mine! Not in your dreams!
Void Flash! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Illuminate the top!
I'll grind you to death!
Holy Land!
Void Flash!
Deny!
They smite Rising Wyvern! Prepare to be sealed! Rising Phoenix!
In here!
Take this! Rising Wyvern!
More for the top part!
Lightning Thrust! Void Flash! Lunar Rondo!
A chain between heaven and earth!
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks,
Hold
Kitara!
nothing back! Rising Wyvern!
In here!
Void Flash! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll heal you all!
Tear!
Do it! Violent flames!
Light Burst Force!
Radiant Genesis!
Looks like we won.
Let's see what you've got.
You got spirit!
Ready and ready!
Here I come!
Lunar corruption!
This one's all mine!
Fall into if you won't bow all night, then you leave me no choice!
Eat this! Megasonic Blast! My turn! Moon Escape! Void Flash!
Leave the choices I never miss!
Void Flash! Do it! Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
All
Now!
disasters
You're
made
mine!
one!
Let it pass you!
Security!
Void
Rock
Flash!
field!
All
Nail
alone!
strike! The
I'm not
power
done!
of flame!
Void Flash!
Small. But a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
Little help!
This one's all mine! Burn in hell! Lion Knight! No further! Rising
These
Wyvern!
ones can run rings around us!
Void Flash!
Not on my watch!
A wall to shield Void Flash!
Oh, violent
Slay!
dragon wind! Carry
Carry
out
it!
the wall!
I can carve through armor! Kisara! All yours, Kisara! My turn! Force blackened blade!
Now! Get toasty!
Bird strike! Non-kill! Hurricane thrust! Non-kill! Slice! Force blast! Slice! Force blast! Slice! I'm ready! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
I've been doing really great lately.
Discourteous, aren't you? Not dead! Allow me to help.
Glacial Storm!
Get down there to fetch this!
Now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block! My turn! Shield from Force blast! Slice! Force blast!
Lock!
Demons descend! Flashing fang!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lanegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion.
Yeah, so that was my ancestor.
Yeah, there's...
What about you?
Me?
Even putting aside the reliving pain...
I can't just pretend. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was...
Alphen.
That's not... I'd like to liberate...
Whether you're on... Not that...
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling... What could happen in here?
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even...
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we...
A summoning?
But that's preposterous.
She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Sugals like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Sugals, then we get some answers. Aim for their weak spot.
Lightning!
Strike! Elusive deity!
Point!
Now you see what I can do!
By the power of wind! Forbidden blade!
I'll ground you with a dust!
Raging
Point flash!
cascade!
The tempest engulfs you!
Searing gale!
In here! Here, let me help!
Okay, fit!
Lightning orb!
Can't get out of this!
More where that came from! The raging cascade!
Leave the torch
Chain between
with me.
heaven and earth!
No chance!
A wailing
Won't escape me!
Try this!
Divine savior!
Breath of life! Heal my weary mind!
Now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Illuminate the dark! Here I go! Holy Gutter! Back into the fray! A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing beauty of lightning!
Anything in order!
Get attacked!
Right, watch out!
Strike! Point flash!
Raging cascade! Explosion! Dance in the wind! Rise and run!
Radiant light! Force of regeneration!
Regeneration!
Smash you!
Spread! Glacial spear! Pierce evil! Oh, Stalker's charge! Thanks, Kisara! Not in your dreams! Let's go! Raging flame! Vanish without a trace!
Rising Wyvern!
Dance in the healing arc!
Slice!
In here! First aid!
Point flash! Burn in hell!
More for the top! Power flame!
Negative
Vanish
gate!
without a trace!
Render you apart! Bloody hell to take
All
this!
day!
Rising Wyvern! Slice!
I'm never finished!
Lunar Rondo! Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down! I'm almost in traffic! Now!
Coming from you.
Get toasty!
Burn strike! Now it's just her! Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning! The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were gone.
Everything okay?
Yes.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please.
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere.
In that case,
I'll take her off.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is,
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was... As for Faria,
You don't seriously blame yourself.
somebody got to her. Strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough. And the same goes for you as well. Neither...
You're wrong. Kelzalik was the one who killed my brother. As for Tarnagan, if it weren't... But that's why we're fighting.
Indeed.
You can't atone. I know it hurt. Forgiveness?
So I just...
No, not for those already passed.
For those...
Kisara's right.
That's what living... Punishing your...
Only fixing the problem.
That's right.
Don't...
Shion,
Huh?
thank you.
Glad.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's...
Do you think Faria was really...
Certainly seemed that way.
The same person who's
brainwashed her.
What is it, Rinwell?
Yeah, it's that voice.
the will of Dana's
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of
An empty void.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing.
So, everything we just...
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were
that power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's...
Maybe my thorns are made from that...
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between... No, more than a link.
I've never felt as...
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right?
Correct. Dark astral...
And when enough astral energy gathers together, if so, maybe that complete...
I don't know. Will can be...
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy, too. I don't know, should we really be getting...
Dana's will would...
But you can't say that for...
Cut it out, you two.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's...
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. And I think they may be...
I'm sorry about what I...
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way. Soon, we might very have to be ready to face anything. I'm determined.
That vision we saw.
What do you make?
Well...
That...
Wait, what if a... And what if those...
You think that's what...
I am merely...
Okay.
More to the point.
Whatever it was.
A strength. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some...
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone.
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out.
For the people of...
Well?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. A composite being the creation of a code name...
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. That must be the master, with all this rod...
About the lords.
Think about, not to mention the... In other words...
What about the Sovereign?
Where do I start?
What is it?
It's a list of names. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Test subject number 1273, Alphen.
They've re-engineered me.
Alphen.
It's fine, really.
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and...
But what about the winners of the crown contests?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena when a new Sovereign is decided. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns. Now, it's all lies. Including the crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must have...
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in...
Crown contests have been held this whole time. In spite of the fact, meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining...
The Red Woman? It's possible. She could be working for someone else.
Either way...
What about the data records?
Not that I can see. There's nothing here about who's behind all this. I've barely managed...
I'll do that.
So this... Only 2 Sovereign. So why has the experiment only Was there really no other way?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Alphen. Farewell. His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... if I don't head back, Lanegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been...
She sure went above and beyond the call.
Even with lanegis crumbling down around her?
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain. And why you were asleep for that whole...
Yeah.
Now that you know how she felt.
She kept... If the Renan people she fought so desperately... Naori was the one who put that mask on me. It made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
This place. We've seen...
Of course. After three... The spirit. This is where...
So this is...
The Renis Alma isn't...
I know it's different.
Naori.
What is this?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control.
Is this another memory?
What we did back then. All in the name of a ceremony. As sovereign. The Renis all that day. As made...
Linked to Lanegis...
But that power showed me a vision. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. I did what I could, but it was too late. Lanegis had already with the destructive, especially since that... In which case, ironically enough, that at least would hold with the sovereign and maiden. That's what I hoped. The Renis Alma was lost. And Alphen, my only choice, was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the maid. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be... Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too.
Wait, you can't...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danon voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the maiden's outfit?
That's right. These
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Xion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a maiden in Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Xion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once.
You're right.
I know, just hearing their—
No, it isn't!
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your—
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity.
Starting with a
Yeah, we've come—
Yeah!
I too shall lend my services.
And they say—
How do you know? Now let's get moving, shall we? Thank you. So Naori sealed away the power that made me— She stopped my rampage. But then, that power I'm so sorry, Xion.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and you paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
Is the reason for your curse.
the thorns.
It all leads—
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No. The truth is, about a life without the touch of my family, holding hands with Rinwell, and is it real? I'm so what if it does?
That's not— I'm here to forget fate. We're going to live a normal— There are a lot—
Yeah, I know, and it's—
You're worth—
I believe—
Good. Okay. Until our future—
Sounds like this— That's quite some door, all right.
We'll find the Ren.
After everything,
We'll probably be needing...
Go for it, Al.
This is it, guys.
Except the den and...
in a portion of...
Maybe he just has...
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but... are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't... are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting just here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand. A wall shield from calamity.
Eternal devastation!
Void blast!
Another incantation ruined.
I can carve through armor!
Everlasting jump! Between heaven and earth!
Eternal devastation!
In a vine?
Dragon! By the
Dragon Swarm!
Negative
Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
Being interrupted.
Dance in mortal droplets! Healing
Leave the charges to me!
Dragon Swarm!
Crescent flash! Burn! Rending you
Lunar
apart!
corruption!
Prepare to be seized! Stalagmite!
Take it! Into the shadow! Come forth and healing purity! This one's mine!
In a vine?
I'm nearly done for.
Where are you going?
Breath of life! Heal my weary companion!
Cure!
I'll smash you!
Meteor storm! Dance in the wind! Air
Eternal devastation! Dragon Swarm! Megasonic Pistol!
Captivity! win.
Snake smite with black can't get out of this!
Sleep now. I'll be safe later.
Ready to go! Now it's my turn! Far enough! Heal! Shattering of pieces! Attack time!
Magic is there! Now clear! Here's evil! Freeze lantern!
Eternal devastation! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Begin! Elusive eternal devastation! Rotating pile!
Here's
Dragon
evil!
form!
Sleep now! Freeze lantern! I'll be
Dance in the
safe
wind! Dragon form!
Whirling struggle!
Heal my weary
Eternal
companion!
devastation!
Land up heal! Burst force! Nothing here!
Can't get out of this!
I'll be saving this
Try harder! My turn!
Lunar Crown
Rising
here!
Wyvern!
By the power of Starlight!
Void Flash! Shattering of pieces!
Attack struggle!
Eternal devastation!
Armor won't save you! Beckoning to everlasting
Try
dark!
this!
Ready!
Explosive ring!
Ripping you apart!
Searing flame!
Nothing gets by me!
Now!
In an instant! Impact block!
Glacial Spear! Pierce evil!
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally, it was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean... Boron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, Why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Danon are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alva!
It's too late. We can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphys!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah,
Is Volron... Have we finally...
we can but hope.
Those red women.
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've
Whatever's stolen from us, the future's ours to protect. We can head them off.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity.
Yeah.
So this thing over on Red...
They have the Renis Alma in their grasp already.
Then we're agreed.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renan's or Danon's.
Yeah. Not a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming about Volron.
Tell me about it.
They definitely weren't...
picked the wrong fight!
Now! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go!
My God!
By the power of
Lightning
love!
shot!
Strike!
Shattering
Radiant light!
pieces!
Force of regeneration! Regenerate!
Too fast!
Stand back! I'll trip it up!
Rising Wyvern! No chance!
Support!
No chance!
Now!
Strike! Void Flash!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
Hi, Hoodle!
Grant me the strength!
Eternal Devastation!
Can't get out of this!
Try harder! This one's all mine! Void Flash! Slice!
It's like trying to keep up with the wall!
Rising Wyvern! Void Flash!
Tornado drive!
Slice!
Burning
Void
Flash!
Flash!
Deity!
Slice! Burn in hell!
Who wants to die now?
Take
Void
this!
Flash!
Waters of creation!
I'm ready! In an instant! Impact Rock! Not a chance!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah!
And public to me!
Slice!
Bathe
Void
in
Flash! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet and... This is the power of the blazing sword!
Little help!
Strength! March on!
Void Flash!
Here's a healing
Slice!
In a bind?
Void Stiff!
First aid!
Dragon Form!
Design own death!
Rising Wyvern!
Gemini Aqua!
Of deity!
You! Thanks!
By the
Void
power of
Flash!
love! Dream!
Eat this!
Here's a illuminate the
Slice!
Come forward!
Void Flash!
That'll bring you down!
Slice!
A wall
Holy
from
Land!
calamity!
Rising Wyvern!
A wailing energy of lightning! By the power of flame! Vanish divine savior!
Slice!
Magic is there!
Void Flash!
Thrust!
Slice!
A whirling struggle!
Void Flash!
You get the gist!
Slice! Void Flash!
In here!
Ignite!
Lord
Slice!
Hellfire!
Tear! Void Flash!
Magic is there!
Mirage!
Freeze Lancer! Water! Light Master, you get the
Rising
gist!
Wyvern!
Fire Flash! Holy Land!
In a bind?
Void Flash!
You get the gist!
Rising Wyvern!
I'm ready!
Double me! In an instant! Impact Block!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Retreat if you know what's good for you!
I owe you one! Crush!
Burning
This
strike!
one's all
Glacial
mine!
Sea! Pierce evil! Nothing gets by me!
I owe you one! Void Flash! Not today!
Mega Ray!
Strike!
I'll thank you!
I'll smash you!
Now!
Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Acid to acid!
Now! Now! Hurricane Thrust!
On your knees!
My turn!
Tempest Whirl!
Air Pressure!
Seems about right to me.
What the?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with Doe?
You two?
Faria, Avakir.
Avakir filled me in about...
She doesn't remember a thing.
He told me about Tarnigan, too.
What difference does it make?
Stop casting me off!
Faria, not now. It can wait.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep on.
You're an elite technician, though.
If so, then...
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before...
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll...
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know...
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed. Which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lanegis from spiraling.
We need to stop that.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace...
At ease. Like by letting... That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in...
Lanegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all...
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a... Avakir, you mentioned a few facility ones.
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow remnants of Lanegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid, as people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lanegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly...
It's still too premature to say with...
But...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the...
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundation...
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just...
You?
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, but not as your Sovereign. Nor as a leader, the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But...
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lanegis, one in which people won't be judged by birthright. Or things like...
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said, I feel like maybe now...
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future.
Indeed.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. Besides, with you leading the people here...
Sounds like you're in it.
How could I not be? From this day forth. Though the memory...
Remember.
True enough.
With or without her, I suspect we should be heading back to the... Looks like the people of lanegis...
In one sense.
You, a Renan...
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness.
Why ask me? But...
He's... among us.
You were thinking about Do.
Have you guys... checked... your equipment lately?
thought we'd find answers on Lanegis, but...
You can say that again.
That can wait for...
Yeah.
All the answers the answers have to be...
So, what do we do?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we...
It's also entire...
If we come across a kid... What? Damn!
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing...
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands.
That's bad.
Quite bad.
Is all of this the Red Women?
Are they trying to finish us off before...
Everyone!
A flower.
But that flower looks like it's absorbed.
And it appears Lanegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lanegis are all right?
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough all...
The flower...
With everything that's happening, we need to get back.
Unfortunately, yes.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex.
So what?
I don't believe we're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no...
Law, calm down!
Right.
It's still too early to get...
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it...
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship.
We managed to get moving.
It looks like Lanegis and...
Do you think we might run into more Renans here?
Perhaps.
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile.
Hey!
If they wanted to attack us, they...
Shion, just in the...
No!
What the...
No, I'm the...
Again, Law? Can't...
Seriously.
What?
Oh, come on.
It's called...
I still can't get over...
Yeah.
I've only ever... Still, though.
Beats me.
Rena and... But to think...
Dohalim.
Okay. That be...
That's what...
Perhaps...
Which would mean that...
Try to stay calm.
This place looks a lot like the...
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise.
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can tell me. Are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that. Just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh goody, more riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out of here. Let's at least hear it out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil. The Red Women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Dake Phasal, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's Great Spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this Great Spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it, without question, throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this great spirit be the true sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lanegis. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even...
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's great spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lanegis are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy, and the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed, and it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lanegis was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling's success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrect 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lanegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Phasal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
You can't seriously be buying any—
To be honest,
At the very least, everything it said about the Renan Great Spirit adds up. That being said,
The spirit of Rena.
But why?
It doesn't matter.
Right.
there is one other thing that... How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown...
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevric 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the...
Maybe it had a reason for keep... Let's find out. Who are they?
Oh, my apologies. It's just...
Are you a Renan?
The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a...
What a weird guy.
he must have meant Hevrecht 35 when he meant...
And what was that about subjects? You don't...
There isn't anyone else around here.
Have you guys lived up here in Dake Phasal with...
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten...
Why are you all even here in the...
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on
We heard that the facility ended up in its...
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when...
And you've been working for Hevrecht 30...
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility. But then it...
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak... As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan...
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously.
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control. It's a pretty sophisticated operation. I have to imagine that's how lanegis is...
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil.
You act like this didn't affect you personally.
I mean, sure, I was surprised.
Hevrecht 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself.
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored or...
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lanegis?
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us... After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. Things are going just fine. Not that it'll be around much longer. That said, I'm sure...
Thank you for answering. Can we talk to you for a few...
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their...
Please, tell us what
You mean the Overseer's species?
Well, for starters...
Where else?
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right along...
Of course not. There's really no...
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer...
Apparently not.
Please, tell...
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Ren.
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a...
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction. In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the great... They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts, and that's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, That explains why almost nobody can use Astro Arts on Dana now.
They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and...
How can you speak so calm?
I guess I can see how when viewed in a certain light. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the... Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a... They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets.
I see.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly...
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while. Do you know anything about us?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago...
Yes. It was to use lanegis to...
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge.
We have a winner. However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied. The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans in Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renus Alma, but we didn't. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana and implemented a...
And the Crown
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to... A new Sovereign had to be... It was such tremendously difficult work. Its success was dubious. But from the look of things...
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the...
What about the flower that sprouted?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That, as I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy.
Hevric 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling...
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eye. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same...
He talks like the potential end of the world.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time.
It feels like our whole world has been...
Seriously.
Let's take a moment to... I know...
Agreed.
Everything that's happened.
And to get that energy, then the Helgan...
Plus...
Either way, why don't we all take some time to...
That's a good... If the Renan Great Spirit... Because it... So let's go ahead and... You sure you don't want...
I could ask...
I figured...
I'll go...
Sounds good.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot. Everything we...
Right.
You both seem...
Oh, it's...
She...
I still can't...
You're not the only one.
apologize for...
You mean hearing the or...
Indeed.
Even I'm still not...
Let's not delude ourselves. I can only imagine that you must have been
That's just part...
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their
What about you, Shion?
To be honest, right now it's...
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, I thought I'd die alone. I would have... It's been going on for 3... It was how it fell on...
I don't think... She considered me. I don't think...
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, she said that
Forget...
Yeah. Well, is everybody...
I am. There's a lot. I don't care who we're up.
What are your thoughts, Alphen?
Like Law said, it's trying to that alone. But it's not only that.
You're saying there's a...
You're referring to the vision of destruction?
Yeah. And to hear Shion tell it?
Indeed. And if Rena's great spirit is what...
Shion's thorn...
We don't know anything.
While the main body...
Shion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's...
The question is how to... Suffice it to say, the wed...
And we only know about the thorns...
Hevric 35 has been observing the great... It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it... Our minds are...
So if the...
Do you have your end?
We want to ask something. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. You must have something up.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not. Rather, its will is derived from the core. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the great spirit shall be...
And how are we supposed to destroy?
By using the You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the...
Hold on. That sounds a lot...
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorn...
She was actually right.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the...
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to...
Any matter contained within the field of destruction.
So it really will kill...
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the...
What are our other...
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most clear...
You don't get it. I promised Shion that we didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to...
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world.
That's...
It is vital that you proceed with this plan. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lanegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the Spirit Channel. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that...
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis...
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the... So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible. That is why it is necessary for... Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit...
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renis Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as...
Well?
It is true that the Renis Alma is capable of what you suggest.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the... Considering that the Renis Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed.
What does that mean for us if you...
Your starship will not be restored.
Why you...
Fine, then.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either, we want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering...
Alphen.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great...
According to my observations, the astral energy...
So right in the middle of that giant...
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's... What will happen to Rena once it...
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it...
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before...
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us.
Havrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing for fix our starship.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for... Remember that.
It matters little to me. Repair work on your starship has finished.
Man.
Is the Renis Alma really our only hope?
You still thinking about what the scientists told us?
I am.
You're worried about the future.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to...
But you still intend to confront this...
Well, I did declare that I would live even as I drew...
I'm sure you'll...
Now that I think about it, I don't believe...
I'm no saint, but you changed that, Dohalim. Thanks to your reforms, we were... Of course, but we knew that when it comes down to it...
That is, in essence...
Yeah, but as soon as you stare...
I understand what... Realistically speaking...
Even if we can build a society...
So you wish for...
Yes, I do. Do you still plan to return to...
Indeed I do.
You'll always have a home in Men... Well, Doe.
Did you just... Thank you, Kisa. I appreciate your patience.
Don't even mention it. Don't you think that brings down a... Yeah.
Hey!
So I wanted to
apologize?
I was being real stupid before. I get why, so I'm sorry,
No, Law. Of course you were...
But you really trust...
Yeah, but I think...
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent...
Yeah, of course.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided it was the first... Then, when I felt... It made me want...
So that's why you hope it...
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I...
You will?
There's no way for me to... Yeah?
That's not quite true.
You...
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really... But I think that's how Dana...
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's in a way...
What? Yeah.
Havrek 35 might know But... You know what? I don't need... So thanks. To be honest, I feel...
Huh?
Saying
on,
anything? No,
thinking?
That's not...
Then spit it...
I can't.
Same as you.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana?
Age is an age.
If I hadn't run it, I wouldn't have my memories back.
Hey, Alphen?
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renaissance, like Havrek 35 said, I need you to promise me, Alphen. You'll use the Blazing Sword to destroy the Great Spirit.
Huh?
It's true the Blazing Sword may not have the strength, but it's taken us...
You can't be serious.
Listen, the Great we don't know what's going to... I promise you, but if it comes down to it...
Okay, but you should know that I'm not going to give up. I hope you can...
Alphen. Okay. So it's a...
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first... But when you reached out to me, and I don't have words...
That's because I couldn't...
Even once you could, though. But still...
You won't have to worry.
You think so?
I do,
No.
Everybody...
Yeah.
Agreed.
Our task is relative.
We're fighting for...
Right.
Then let's go, everybody.
Repairs on your star...
Is that you, Havrek 35?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds.
Sounds like someone...
Maybe we should give Hevrecht 35 a break.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women use?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the...
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Ren...
Wait.
You'll need to be careful, due to the force field surrounding Rena.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate...
We gotta go all the way down.
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the...
The extinction of my people, as such, it would be illogical.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit?
Well?
You heard the
I have one...
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to...
We exist because others have entrusted this to us.
You mean it is because of multiple... Why have you two continued to persist?
It's hard to explain. All right.